Sorry about that. I had just done a video 2 weeks ago about the Stetson hats that would be an upgrade of this. Now, so originally I was going to call this video Hat Talk instead of Boot Talk and just cover a range of subjects, including a lot of the rundown of Western style cowboy hats, the different felt qualities and that kind of thing. So that's not going to be this yet either. I decided to redo. I kind of did that one recently too, and I want to do a kind of an update to piggyback on it more than a replacement of it. So that was episode 293, and then the other Stetson one was 313. If I didn't say that already. But that I think will work better next week when I do Bailey versus Scala or Scala, however it's pronounced, because I'm finding out that I have a lot of hats that are actually that Scala brand. And I had always kind of showed them in other videos before without really being brand specific, kind of like, oh, you might like this kind of hat rather than you might want this brand of hat, you know. So I want to do a little deeper dive and showcase that a little bit better, and then pit them against Bailey. Now, Bailey is kind of in a weird category because partially they're competing. Like this was one of the Akubra ones that I showed that's very similar to the Scala one that I've showed a bunch. Whereas most of my Bailey ones, or that I thought were kind of more the cowboy hat thing, so I didn't realize that they're kind of in a more similar category to the Scala hats than the Stetson hats, right? Even though Stetson makes, again, some similar lower budget hats or whatever, or more affordable offerings and that kind of thing. So like I said, so I'll get into that more in the next episode instead of this one, or 2 episodes away, actually, maybe, regarding hats. I'm finding also that a lot of these companies have discontinued things or changed the color, and they're trying to save a buck like everybody else, I guess. And I was really harping on that when I was talking about even some of the more expensive felt hats. Again, by brands like Stetson. So yeah, I was talking about the Stetson one that I was just holding. They had reintroduced it as bronze and green, the same color green, but now they've made the brim smaller. So we're going to see examples of that again in less expensive hats. But these hats aren't that less expensive anymore either. They've gone up in price. I'll get into that in a minute too. But again, especially with the felt where we're trimming it though, I was annoyed because I'm paying for the whole brim and then you're giving me this much brim and sometimes charging me more. Obviously, not everybody wants to pay over $200 for a felt hat, which is again why I have 50 of these or whatever lying around to talk about. But those ones also being the crushable travel hats too, which Scala, like I said, makes more felt. I don't know how much felt Dorfman or Henschel makes. I haven't ordered any felt from them. I think they have some straw offerings. Side note, this is a Duluth, branded Duluth, but this light felt branding is the same as my Bailey cowboy hat. So I'm pretty sure Bailey makes these for Duluth. So again, something we'll discuss next time. But something to mention that, again, though, these being these hats that you're supposed to be able to roll up and put in your pocket and goes back into shape. And of course, hats that people call indie hats now because of Raiders of the Lost Ark, but are not directly patterned after all of the movie recreation Indiana Jones hats, because there's what, 5 movies now. So people like the hats from different movies for collecting and all that kind of thing. Too much to get into. And then I had another Duluth one that I was just showing you. This brand of Duluth, I don't know who makes this. This, you know, could be made by either of these two companies, Dorfman or Scala, at a different price cost or something, or not Scala, sorry, Henschel. Although Scala could make this too. Scala, I don't know, either or. But again, this being a very wide brim compared to most of what people call an indie hat, you know, which is more of a true city fedora or whatever. And it's gotten rebranded as an adventure hat because he's an adventurer in the movie, but is not traditionally. I call this the Gandalf, though, because if it had a taller, pointier, you know, crown. So let me go ahead and read. Let me go ahead and read what I had typed up. Okay, so this is a fake unboxing because I had gotten some new Dorfman ones and I already opened the box last week and then held off making this video until I got the Henschel ones in. But I had ordered a Henschel one that I got before these, and I had actually returned it because it was similar to the one I just threw on the floor, but all nylon construction, and I didn't care for it because I already have, as I showed in a previous video, this less expensive style nylon, this one being from Cabela's. Very, you know, thrown together. This one, I've obviously used this one a lot, but since it's still basically functional for what I use it for, and I don't really like it, I only wear it when it's like extra windy and stuff because I want the extra string, and or if I think it's going to rain and I don't want to get out a better or heavier hat or whatever, I'll wear this. So I was like, oh, $65 for a nylon thing when I already have a $13 piece of crap. No, you know, no, that went back, like I said, immediately. But Henschel and Dorfman and Scala are all serviced basically by Amazon now. But if you order it direct, you can't just return it like the Amazon ones. I don't know. But so again, Outback, I had talked about these before, and these are a little bit step up, although these ones never quite fit right. But if you want waterproof, I would say you're still going to need to put some Flex Seal or some duct tape around the edge here. But overall, the waxed canvas ones are more water repellent. But of course, this one has an open crown or a mesh crown, so the water can still go in through the crown even. So this being waterproof is kind of silly because it's not waterproof, it's ventilated. But these, I do use these pretty often. And again, I was going to talk more about the Stetson. I just did the whole bit about the Safari video regarding this particular hat. So if you want to go back and watch, I know I said I was just going to start reading the thing, but then I didn't start reading the thing. Episode 319. This is the Tri-City felt hat. So I'll show. So again, this is much more pricey. The closest thing I could find to a traditional American company version of a safari hat, this being, of course, the Akubra one. So you're not going to find brims like this or this in probably pretty much any of the Dorfman collection, probably any of the Henschel ones. Like I said, their brims seem to be getting smaller. Almost a similar brim with the less expensive Stetson. This was the Gallatin that I talked about in the other video. So, you know, you can see the brim is still decent width, but not at, you know, you've lost at least an inch. That sort of thing. I'm trying to wear this to, they're supposed to shrink to fit to conform to your head, but this one fits even kind of worse than the other one. But that's all right. So I'm going to have to go into the playlist. Let me see. Hey, sorry for these delays, but you know, we want to be thorough. If we go way back when to my first videos, episode number 58, and then there was another one after that, I think, somewhere around the same time. This was episode 40 was about cowboy hats, trilbies, and fedoras. And then 58 was mesh breezer and other hiking hats and boonie hats. So I touched on most of these in either or of those videos. And then I did those 2 long safari videos where I talked about hats and segments of each of those, I'm pretty sure. Episode 217 and 221. And of course, if you want to hear about Akubra hats, episode 215, 222 is the one I was just wearing, the territory. And again, the felt cowboy hats, 293, and another Akubra hat, 308, and then cowboy hats, a bunch of them more recently. You know, I'm not going to go into every single one, but so this one I had bought to use as a safari hat, but the brim was never quite, you know, film movie authentic, and I added this, came off of this, which broke. I probably overpaid for these, but these are coconut. But again, these are the Scala brand. Scala, if you can see it, without me throwing too much coconut bits all over the place. I want to try and see if I can sew it back together, just because I like wearing this hat in warm weather, but don't know if I can accomplish that. And then this being its brother that I couldn't find last summer for the life of me, but that I had bought at the same time from the same place many years ago, like 15 years ago or something. So this one's a pork pie, and you can snap the brim over down. But again, I'm saving him for next week. But straw options, again, being Stetson has some. I also included in that other video, was it episode 316, I think it was, where I did talk about the straw hat at the beginning of the episode. The first 10 minutes, in fact, when I should have saved it probably for that hat video. So I kind of messed that up, but whatever. But this is, again, I'm not going to get into it. I didn't bring that one in. But that one has a much wider brim again. But it was only $55. It was still less cost than the nylon Henschel one for the bigger brim. Now, this is another one that I've showed. It does not have a label. I don't know who makes it originally. I might have gotten this. I'm pretty sure this is a Henschel, though, from way back when. And I think I got this from a surplus store that's no longer in business. But this has the snap-up Aussie side. And I had those other 2 snap-up Aussie side ones that I talked about in, like I said, whatever video that was. Episode 40 or no, 58 probably. Either or, probably both. I don't know. Or it could have been the winter hat one. Headwear number 1, casual winter hats, cowboy western, before I owned anything that was really pricey or decent or whatever. But that was episode 28, so way back when. That was one of the first episodes that I kind of had planned in my head, but didn't know how to approach it. So that's why I ended up doing 3 episodes with the seasons. But yeah, so I already talked about this hat and those other hats, and I'm pretty sure this is Henschel, and I know those 2 are Henschel, but they're the more Aussie. Those 2 have a more true Aussie crown. This one has the pinch front, again, more an indie hat. But this one's kind of a sweat bucket because it doesn't have any ventilation, and it's never quite fit right. I did wear it yesterday, and it was fine because I wanted this for the wind. So I mean, it's not going anywhere. It's not, you know, loose and floppy, but it is a little bit tight because it's kind of a more round crown, whereas the more Aussie Army ones have a little better shape for my noggin. This one, of course, being the same problem, but as you can see, like I said, really rocks and moves. And so the less expensive the hat, sometimes the better fit is the lesson I seem to keep learning. And then these were some cheap things. I don't know who makes these, but these were some Blair things, but they are 100% polyester. But it's total mesh. It's completely meant to resemble certain straw hats or whatever more than the felt ones. Again, but it did not hold its shape. I took this in the car on the way to Texas, and yeah, it just didn't survive even the ride there. I never even like wore the thing because I thought it looked terrible. I didn't want to look like the traveling salesman who's down on his luck too much, you know. So I just kind of, and my friend saw it and said, "Oh, I really like that hat," but yeah, I like the idea of it more than the actual hat. And then in the photo, of course, this came from Walmart. This was made in China. It's $15. I don't know what brand it is. Crazy Trend, Ozark Trend. I can't even read that. The lighting in here is terrible. One size fits all. Ozark Trek or something. Anyway, but this was, you know, less than $20 and works. But I'm going to try and figure out some way to redo the string. I just messed it up so that it goes through the back and around the back of my head again, same as that nylon one. So yeah, I mean, obviously there's, you know, inexpensive hats you can get. I know I'm not doing the head-to-head too much yet. I'm just kind of talking about random hats for a minute, but let's get that out of the way. Then, of course, this one I've showed before, this Magellan, which got plenty of sweat in it last year. This one's not quite ready for the bin yet, but it has the double holes again that I like. But I took the string out of this to put in one of the Dorfman ones. Just because I knew I won't wear this one until later. I'm still wearing the green instead of the browns and the khakis and such. So this one, okay, now make note of this one. This is a Henschel, and you can see that it is definitely a Henschel. It has, they had sent me a thank you card with a discount, so I guess I should have only ordered a couple. And then ordered the rest later, but it doesn't really matter. Because again, I had ordered that one off Amazon and then realized my blunder by not going to the website because it was much easier to track down stuff. But so this hat, they no longer offer the same brim size. So I was disappointed to find that out because this hat has always been a little too small, especially if I want to wear a bandana under it. So it's right on the verge. It's a medium, so it's right on the verge. So I went ahead and ordered the large in a couple colors that could maybe wear a bandana with it. But I always liked the kind of fake texture or whatever you call it, the kind of marbled look. And then you can see the mesh is, you know, much more of a soft mesh than the Outback ones. So the next nearest thing, I jumped in too soon. I meant to talk about this one first. But we'll talk about this one after because I was going to compare this one with that one, which again, this one is not branded. I'm pretty sure it's a Henschel, but I'm not positive. I don't know. It came from a different surplus store, and it does have ventilation, but it does have a full canvas crown instead of this mesh stuff. But so, okay, so the competition, the Dorfman versus the Henschel, right? This is the new version of the ones I used to really like. I was trying to order another one of the green. When I ordered the Henschel that I sent back, the nylon one, I thought it was this hat, and I was wrong. But this hat is not the hat that I thought this hat was, because this is not that hat either. And I'll show you in a minute when we get into box number 1. Okay, so but this is the Dorfman version of this. So you can see it's kind of a boring, generic olive indie hat with a chin strap. And it's a rawhide chin strap, which I, you know, not my favorite, but they both have the same thing. Pretty much the same exact thing going on. This one has like this black sweatband. This one has the same color sweatband. I was going to take this one back, and then I decided I would just keep it. Because again, it's similar enough to that nylon one in shape and style without being nylon, because this claims to be 100% cotton. It's just more floppy than I really wanted. Because the older ones that I showed in, again, video number 28 or whatever, or 40, I'm going to keep, nope, 58. Almost combined the two. This one's a bit too big, though, in the back. So, again, I can wear it with a bandana, which is one of my pet peeves about hiking is, like I said, I kind of, most of the time I'm finicky. Some of the time I want this, some of the time I want that. So I can wear this without a bandana. Having one I can wear with a bandana is acceptable because I already have this one for days when I don't think it's going to be as warm and I don't want to wear a headband. This one is looser, so okay, fine for the price. Either or, and I can put both of them in the car and decide when I get there. You know. So this one has actual stuff, you know, that I won't likely be able to read because of the lighting. Here is terrible. Breathable. They put white lettering on a cardboard. I'm gonna need a flashlight. This is just gonna be a silly video. I don't care. Okay. Let's see if we can read this. Created for maximum comfort, crafted with extra ventilation, designed to enhance and maximize airflow for optimal performance. I'm sure that's on the website, but I'm too lazy to go to the website and just read things on most of these videos because that just takes forever. Okay. And it says the same thing on both sides of that. Packable. Okay, so we know that because I've just been showing how packable it is, which is not the feature I actually want in this type of hat as much. Designed to be packed. These hats can go in luggage without any worries. Simply fill the crown of the hats with smaller items and pack around the hat. Okay, well, that's not what I thought you were going to tell me. I thought you were going to tell me to smash it and roll it, but that's apparently only the felt ones. Maybe not this. Don't know. But if it ever gets packed by me, it might not survive because I won't be babying a hat that I don't like that much. Okay. Leisure, adventure, comfort. I cannot read that word. Achieve, I guess. Maximum versatility. Dorfman Hat Company. And it used to be Dorfman Pacific, or maybe it still is. I don't know. I still call it Dorfman Pacific because whatever. But Dorfman Hat Company. Okay, fine. And this says 100% cotton and exclusive of whatever decoration or something. There's no decoration on this. I suppose you could buy a bunch of them wholesale in blanks and then put a patch on them somewhere, but I'm not really sure where because it's mesh. The other one that I have, I think I might put a twill similar to this shirting overlay. You can kind of see that it's not a true army sateen. It's just a standard twill. But I might try and reconstruct it as more like this type of canvas hat instead of the mesh because I already have a bunch of these stick and mesh ones lying around. There's this one and the Duluth one and the Outback ones and yada, yada, yada. But yeah, it's a similar mesh to, I don't even know where I put that other hat. Where did I put the Henschel? Oh, I tossed it. Didn't really mean to do that yet. But yeah, so they have a very similar weave. A very similar, you know, this is 100% cotton, but you know this is polyester or plastic up in here, so kind of oops on their part to not really talk about that. But so yeah, so they're, like I said, almost the exact same hat, except the price of these is steep compared to the price of these now, as far as I can tell. And I have the packing list. The Henschel, the newer one with the lesser brim, hiker breezer import large earth, $54. Am I reading that correctly? Yeah, $54. So over $20 more than the green one, I think. But I might be misquoting that because I bought a couple different Dorfman ones, like I said, and I'm not positive what all the prices exactly were. So this might have been the $40 one ish. Don't quote me, but this was still again, I bought this several years ago, and you can't get this exact one anymore. Now, if you want this, you have to pay more, and it's not as good. Period. So Henschel lost some points with me there, but Dorfman had kind of less selection of stuff I was really looking for this time around, which kind of surprised me. Because again, I ordered 5 Henschel hats and only 3 Dorfman ones, and 2 of the Dorfman ones I was thinking of sending back, including the one I was just holding, which again, like I said, well, it being kind of a crappy fit, I guess I'll keep it. Yada, yada, yada. So next in the rotation, I had, now again, I didn't need all of these. I kind of wanted to check them out and return the odd ones. So this is the old one. I just put the packing crap on here from that one while it was in the box. So this is not a brand new hat, except it hasn't been worn all that much. But like I was saying, much stiffer brim, a true fabric. This is the string that, again, didn't come with the Magellan, but I had put in the Magellan years ago. And so I took it out of the Magellan to put on here so I could wear it the other day. And then after wearing it once and then getting that hat, realizing, okay, I can't get this one anymore. Now I got to baby it again some more. So like I said, I might reconfigure this hat to be, well, not this, but more like this. So it will be even more durable because this mesh will eventually get holes and rot and fall apart and blah, blah. But this is DPC, Dorfman Pacific Company, before they changed their labels and everything, and yada yada, and size medium, and fits about as well as I could possibly ever hope. And it's one of my like kind of favorite hats for an inexpensive hat because it has a nice shape and it's not all crappy floppy. Packable. I don't care if it's packable, if it's, you know, again, durable and suitable. Because I already, like I said, I didn't have the Duluth ones yet when I got this one, but I have them now. So I have Duluth ones. So I want to keep this one good. Meantime, they do still make the same thing or almost the same thing in the khaki. So I got the khaki. I wanted to get that green one as a backup. Couldn't do it, but did get the khaki. So in the next couple weeks, when the weather gets warmer and blah blah blah, I'm not wearing green anymore, and I'm wearing more tan. Okay, so this says breathable. I'm going to assume this says the same thing as the last tag, and I'm not going to read it again. And it does say packable, but again, their idea of packable is put small animals and children in it, and you know, make it into a Christmas present for itself and call it nice names for its birthday, whatever. So when they say packable of this, they don't mean the same kind of packable as the Gallatin or the other Kubras, or sorry, Stetsons. Right. But so this is still available in like the $30 range or whatever. So I'm very happy with Dorfman for this, and almost everything else I'm like, eh. I debated ordering a second one of this and sending, like I said, that one back or this other one back. But I decided I'm going to keep, like I said, both of them because they weren't that expensive. The Henschel ones cost more, and I already have a bunch. So that's where we ended up with that. Okay. So this one, again, is basically the exact same as this, but the material is been treated to look weathered and beat up, and I think it looks and feels kind of disgusting. But it is brown, so even though it's not as good of a hat as the Magellan. Again, when late summer comes, this looks absolutely terrible now, and it's not falling apart. It hasn't ripped any seams yet, and it also has a tan crown instead of a medium brown crown. So okay, so here's, oh, it still says DPC on this one. UFP 50, whatever that does for you, meaning what, it covers half your head, whatever, I don't know. Dorfman outdoor design, or authentic DPC. Oh, it does still say Dorfman Pacific Company on here too. Twice on the back. And made headwear since 1921. I don't know how much of it is actually handmade, whatever. This says 42% cotton and 38% polyester. So they're not pretending that this polyester is cotton, and there might be polyester in this. I don't know. I assume, again, that this is the same as this, and it's just been spray painted. But this one, spoiler alert, because it's a fake unboxing, I already know it fits fine. And it has the rawhide chin. So again, not in great shape, not a great looking hat. A little, I can wear it with a bandana, but not as loose as that one. So for the price, again, acceptable for what it is, I guess. I'm not enthusiastic about it. I really don't love it. Again, I would rather have 3 of the other green one than either of these, but I can't get that one anymore. So this is the crap I'm accepting for now. And I might never need to buy another Dorfman hat. I don't know. We'll see how it goes in the future. If they reintroduce quality, or if they continue to get worse, and if these all last, 15 more years or something, they might, maybe nobody's wearing this kind of hats by then anymore anyway, because all the boomers are expired and nobody gives a crap about Indiana Jones anymore. I don't know. Can't tell you where we're going with that, but I think we've got the idea. Okay. So like I said, all kind of similar hats that I'll wear through most of the year, and they don't all have to wear out in 3 months or whatever. There's no time limit. Similarly, what I was going to start with, but okay, detour. This is neither a Scala nor a Dorfman nor a Henschel. This is a Panama Jack. I don't know who makes Panama Jack. I just like to show it in every episode because it's kind of a fun, stupid bucket hat. But of course, Dorfman is the one who makes these, which I really like the idea of them, but I don't always love how floppy the brims are. I wear these reasonable amount of time in spring-ish, sometimes. This year, not so much. But I do find them a little too warm for summer, so this one will get around late summer, maybe some use. This one will get around now, maybe some use. But I have plenty of military boonie hats that, are around the same price. So sometimes I don't want to look too military, so I sub in these instead, But overall, the military ones, the brims hold their shape a little better. That sort of thing. This turned out to be yet another Dorfman that I didn't know was a Dorfman. I got these from Blair or whatever in a couple different colors. But as it turns out, they're Dorfman, so they get their shout out now. And it says UFP 50. I got to get the lighting. Let's see what this is. This headwear meets the UFP 50 requirements set by the leading dermatology authority, blocking 96 to 99% of the sun's harmful rays. And then there's an even smaller type with excluding open mesh. Right. So yeah, all the open mesh ones that I just held up that all say 50 aren't actually 50. This being a closed mesh or a closed crown or regular fabric, not a mesh at all. This is a proper UFP 50. I don't want to get it all sweaty because it's still new. But just a stupid bucket hat. But it has a little bit more integrity to the brim than, again, this type, which, again, this isn't their brand, but I have Dorfman ones of this that are in the other one. In different colors. So yeah, a little bit more of a brim, a little sporty, a little nautical-ish, mountain cabin-ish. So again, when the weather changes next week and we turn from green to khaki, this one is good to go and get thrown in for, around the house use. I wouldn't take something like this hiking typically, just more for a little chore hat, or, if you're going to the park or something and you're not too worried about being in, open air, blinding desert, no cover anywhere sun. Little thing like that's fine, right? As opposed to, again, mega adventure hat. But again, that one costs like $20. This one cost, 30 times that or whatever. So anyway, so on the packing list, I don't know the name. I don't know which names correlate to exact which ones. I'll do my best. All good waxed cotton safari hat, medium olive. Backcountry brushed cotton safari hat, medium olive. Now these are all going to be hats that are similar to this more. That's why I wanted to mention that I don't know if this is a Henschel though. And I keep hitting the stupid window screen. Making more chaos in my dumb video. Okay. And Claremore outdoor safari hat in earth. Well, we'll know which one that is. And then the two hikers, the distressed gold and the earth. So let me go to the mesh ones first. Even though they're at the bottom. Again, we were just talking about all the same exact things. So we'll do that first. And again, spoiler alert. So again, I already knew that the brim was smaller when I ordered this. And I was kind of like, well, I'll get it anyway, just because, like I said, if I can wear it with a bandana. And so these ones have a lot, and this one is the other color, which matches a lot of my autumn stuff. So this color, this, again, more of my early spring, this more of my mid-autumn motif, right? So getting hats to match specific clothes, yay. Even though, again, I already have boonie hats and other hats. So, again, UFP 50, a lie, because this is not 50. A half-truth. Laboratory tested to certify UV protection factor 50 plus. Wide brim hats, which this is not a wide brim. Recommended by dermatologists for sun protection. So, don't buy this one anymore, anyway, because, again, it used to have a much wider brim than it does now. A little bit wider anyway, but not this, still not really a wide brim, kind of a medium brim, but wider. Again, why I was always on the hunt for something better. And it wasn't until those Duluth ones came along that I was really more satisfied. But again, the boonie hats, the military ones, some of the brims now are more of this bucket hat brim that became popular with the troops more than the original 3-inch ones, which again is more like this, but less floppy. Slightly. So, but this was kind of the Vietnam brim size that then in the 80s they got bigger, and then in the 90s or whatever they all started getting shorter again. So who knows? Again, I don't know what's going on with that, but it's definitely Henschel. But this, again, I had ordered this in size large to try and wear it with a bandana. So, spoiler alert, it's already going back. I'm sending both of these back for $54 each. The original Breezer by Henschel. I don't know if they invented it, but authentic. Henschel's authentic Breezer has been a hallmark in the headwear industry. The breathable mesh crown, adjustable chin cord, and sun protecting. This didn't come with a chin cord, so again, more false advertising. They used to come with a chin cord, because I know I have one here with a chin cord. So again, they've cut costs and raised price, so they can go screw themselves when I get my $110 back. Adjustable chin cord and sun protecting make this style the perfect outdoor companion. Whatever path you take, whatever mountain you climb, whatever river you cross, the breezer hat will help get you there. Yeah, like I said, I've worn that one a bit, and it's not that comfortable because it's too tight. That's why I've ordered the bigger size that is total shit. And I love calling it total shit because it is total shit. The only thing good about this hat is that it still has the kind of cool color here that is not worth the amount that I spent for these. Because again, if I want a crappy hat that isn't the hat that I really wanted, I already got these for much less price from Dorfman. So correct. So in that regard, Dorfman scores, Henschel loses. But in this other regard, like I said, I didn't think Dorfman had anything that was like these. So I can't say 100% that I hate Henschel hats because they have some better ones than the other brand. Okay. But on the other hand, when they do this crap, when they had a winner or a mostly that fit okay winner that I just wanted a little bit bigger, and it's freaking huge with a shitty brim and with no chin strap, even though it says it has a chin strap and a wide brim, when it has neither, then they are just lying, and I'm pissed. Okay. But I ordered it anyway because, like I said, I thought it would fit with a bandana, and clearly I don't think it's going to do that. Okay, now I can't read this by itself because it's a clear plastic with black letters. Let's see if I can read it here. Cloth hat care. Oh, not going to matter because it's going back. Gently brush off dust in the direction of the grain, and if wet, shake off water and let the hat air dry away from heat. Use a hat form. I don't know where I'm supposed to get that. They include it. To keep shape, sprinkle cornstarch or talcum on stains to absorb oil and brush off. Only use liquid cleaners on synthetic fibers or spot clean with mild detergent and rinse gently. Apply Scotch Guard for added protection. So, okay, I might want to copy that down before I mail it away, but I don't know if all those tips will work on felt hats or not. I just know that this hat won't work on my head. At least not as good as that other green one in the other box. So again, this same exact thing, just in the different color. So obviously just a terrible fit and a terrible compromise, and not going to live in my house. Thanks. Goodbye. Which brings us to the other ones. So again, which one is which? Well, this is the Earth one or whatever. I drew in the paper prematurely. So this is the Claremore Outdoor Safari Hat. Now, again, these companies call these safari hats, kind of loose terminology. Because, again, a true safari hat is more like that Akubra that I keep throwing over there, and not even like this Gallatin one. But this one has the Henschel logo and a kind of a lining. That's satin or what. The top a little bit smooth and shiny, but a canvas outside. I'm pretty sure this is going to be, you know, cotton. And they have another printed card that is all black letters on a clear thing. So once again, just make it easy for me to read on camera with the other tags stuck to it. Henschel Manufacturing Company Incorporated. It is tiny. Oh my God. Okay. Remove dust gently with a soft brush, always brushing with the nap of the fabric. If your hat becomes wet, shake off excess water. Okay, so it's kind of the same stuff I was just reading. At least a couple of hours. Add them and then brush away. The powder will absorb the oil. Yeah. You can use a small amount of mild detergent mixed with water on a clean white cloth to spot, treat stains. Rinse by wiping with a cloth dipped in water and allow to dry. Naturally, cloth hats can be treated with Scotch Guard, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So anyway, so this has a leather band, I think, or no, probably not. Some kind of plastic that looks like leather, probably rubber, maybe. Who knows? But if it's all right, it looks okay. It's a good autumn hat. It has ventilation, just a little bit, but you know, decent. And it's canvas, so the sweat will go up in it. It'll look gross after a couple weeks, but what are you gonna do? I already got sweat in it right now from just putting it on. But like I said, you know, like I said, I just wanted something that was kind of similar to this. This can be a late summer, and this can be more of an early autumn-ish. Again, not a super wide brim, more of a out on the town casual kind of hat. So perfect for what I wanted. Again, when I'm not necessarily wanting to wear the felt, because this is a nice sun reflective felt with ventilation, but it can also be warmer because that's felt. And so yeah, this is just a standard. And this one was what, 50? No, this one was 64. Yeah, so the canvas ones were 64 and the mesh ones were 54. So $10 more, a little pricey, but again, the kind of hat that I buy in a batch every 10 years or so, and it will get used as it gets used. So again, similar to that, going down the list, this one being a much nicer quality one than the other one, and has the same exact title cards. So Safari leather band. So this one claims to have a real leather band. Lucky me. And so this is the all good waxed Safari, maybe. I don't know why the other one costs this. Why they both cost the same, I don't know. I don't know which one is which, but this one is definitely nicer than this one. This one, I feel like I could send it back maybe, but I'll probably keep it just because. Because again, I can wear this on nicer occasions or whatever. It's the exact same thing as that other one, except it got beat up already in the shipping. I didn't realize this one was in crappy condition. That's usually something, this blemishes, that I would maybe return. But it's already late spring, so I don't know what kind of inventory we have left. But yeah, this got a little bit beat up. So it's not perfect. But it's, again, the sizing tag is under here, I guess. Okay, I don't know if there's anything special in here. Medium, 90 cotton, 10 rayon, made in China. So there you go. Decent fit, I guess. The brim, I imagine it will take. This one say anything different. I'm sure they both say made in China. Hey, what a shock. Oh, this one says 20% polyester as opposed to, what did I just say this one was? 10% rayon. Okay, so slightly different. That one polyester, this one rayon. I think rayon is a little better than polyester, but I also think this one, yeah, this one's more comfortable. So live and learn. But again, both of these I'd say are probably acceptably priced for what hats are going for these days. This one should not be the same price as that one, and the one I sent back that was also $65, I was like, hell no, give me my money. This one, let's see if it says something other than cotton. Nope, it says 100% cotton. So if it's 100% cotton, it doesn't have any extra gimmicks in the card. It just says this. Fits all right. It has no interesting anything going on, and it's still a short brim. So again, kind of the least of all worlds. It's not as stiff as this one in the brim. or this, especially not this. This is still, I mean, it's still flexible, but it's not floppy. Whereas this one is almost floppy. It's really an insult that this is $65. So whichever one this one is, probably don't buy this one. Probably buy this one, even though it's not cotton, it's poly blend or rayon blend. Which one was which? I forget. Whichever one was which, it doesn't matter. This was the rayon, yeah. Again, if you get one that isn't all beat up, it's a perfectly nice hat. Like I said, I'd be very tempted to send both of these back and then reorder this one by itself. But I'm lazy. I'll probably just keep them warm. Again, I don't know if this is a Henschel though either, but I'm pretty sure this is a Henschel of the quality you used to get with an additional grommet and an actual band instead of this self-matching laziness and only 2 grommets. And you know, technically they're all indie hats or safari hats, even though again I wouldn't pick these for safari per se. You know, if you're going to the gun club and you wear this because you don't want the full brim, that's one thing. But on safari, I think I'm going to want at least this much brim. But again, they don't seem to offer anymore. So again, more likely to have to get it from Dorfman than Henschel. But as far as this goes, not terrible, just overpriced. I'd say if you find this for $40, it's probably fine. You know, depending on what you're looking for, you know, I mean, you're not going to like decorate it, but I suppose you could add a hat band on the trim or something. And make it look a little more like a city fedora than a forest, you know, only. Because again, if I'm going in the forest, I'm not wearing this. It's just not very often anyway. Just not enough brim, not enough vent. It is lightweight. It's lighter weight than this. So, but negligibly so, you know. Yeah. And this, on the other hand, just a good color, a nice texture. You can really see the canvas, you know, coming through. So this was an add-on. I didn't need this, but I thought, yeah, for what I'm paying. Again, I had a feeling I was going to be disappointed with this, and it'll do for, you know, again, chore hat or whatever, but not for the same price. Like if I was just going to buy one and that was going to be my hat, that probably wouldn't be it. And these definitely would not be it. These are definitely disappointing. So I guess, yeah, after almost an hour, did we learn anything? Like I said, we kind of got to investigate these companies, what they're offering these days a little closer without, I mean, you know, but that was 5 hats with a discount code, $270. Still kind of steep. I mean, you know, you can have a decent cowboy hat for around the same price. But again, once I return 2 of them at least, maybe 3, I don't know. I'm still debating about that one because, like I said, that other Dorfman was so disappointing, and I did want a green one that I can just wear. And like I said, that other mesh one, I can't wear it without a bandana because that was supposed to be my other replacement hat, and I can't use it as a replacement hat. So this either or instead of the mesh, you know. Again, though, the price, I don't think this is a $65 hat. You know, but I'll probably just keep it anyway because, like I said, it matches a bunch of crap that I already have, and I can't get the one that I really want. I'll have to try and get that one fixed at the tailor and all that, and blah blah blah. So that's kind of where we are, people. That's what I'm learning in the hat world these days with these more budget-friendly things. You know, if you're going on vacation, you know, just need something for 2 weeks. You're only going to need 1 or 2 anyway. It's not going to matter if you're not a total hat collector fiend like I am. And this is not comprehensive. You know, they have other models and versions and things. But these are the best ones that I saw. So if you can find one that you like better, that's great. But yeah, I guess I'll wrap it up. As always, I activated the buy me a coffee feature. You can do that. You can stay tuned for my next episode. I didn't even read this stuff. Oh. What I was going to read first and never read. Well, okay, let me power through this before we get into the boycott Tinder thing. OMG, Dorfman Pacific changed almost all their old good hats to crappy new design versions. I kind of said that already. And the Henschel almost as bad. Not really the kind of hats I buy once a year, though. More like I said, I get a bunch and stock up, and then I neglect to wear some of them for a decade because I haven't even worn that other tan one party. Trying to fix that other issue a bit, but wear quite a few of them a year still. Oh, and I have a list. That was the other thing. Again, I won't get into this today now, but I do have a list of the hats that I did actually wear this winter. And the black Outback one was in here. This is mostly the more expensive stuff that I was trying to wear for the channel. Cody James Resistol, that was the straw one. Some of the flat caps. Wrangler Bailey MHT. But then down here at the bottom, we got Boonies, Scala, the Indie Green, which is the one I held up next to the Akubra one. It looks brown, but it's technically green. They might call that one brown, though, now, because I think they have brown and chocolate. That was another thing I'll get into with that video, I guess. Cabela Breezer, the one I showed that looks absolutely horrible. With the Magellan, again, the one that looks absolutely horrible. The wool bucket. Oh, that was the other. It was Tan Stingy, which was this one, I think. Right. So anyway, like I said, not really necessary to talk about all that right now. I got one that's the same in the one that's the same in the same color still, and one that's kind of gross but fits better than the third one. So I just showed all that, the brown one versus the green one. So this was my notes. Let's see. The third one is the one I really wanted the most, since also a duplicate of previous purchase, same as the first one, but the fabric is different now and the fit is meh. I'm still often complaining that many of them are too tight to wear with a bandana when hiking, which I can do with this one now, which I already showed. Oh, because I had written this on somebody else's video, I think, maybe. If I'm going hiking, chances are I want the other one with the wider brim. Not sure if worth it to pay the extra for shipping and order the one direct from Australia. Oh, totally different hat. For the other color, I already talked about this in the other video. It's already spring, so more people are already buying them up now. Probably I can only stock up on so many when I want to buy better quality, more expensive things that I know I won't wear for another 10 months. Yeah, right, the felt ones. Okay. I checked the one hat shop that I liked most earlier already and saw nothing useful anyway. I might have to drop some dough with their competitor, but they only have a couple with the brim wider than 2 1/4. Right. Like I said, with the problem I was having with these, they're all borderline stingy brim. They're okay for, evenings and stuff when I'm not like out in the direct sun or whatever, but they're not my go-to favorites for all situations. Comes in second color, but already returned one that I thought was more like the older ones, but with some kind of nylon that they were calling cotton poly. That's Henschel. Okay. Again, another semi-false claim or completely false claim. But I didn't see evidence for any cotton and liked it even less than the meh one from the other company, which I already talked about at length. Okay. That had not come yet, right? Showed up the next day or whatever. Said that already. Might be able to find more bargain shops. Might be able to find more bargain prices in hat shops blowing out of their old stock more than buying new ones, since, almost nobody ever needs my head size, which is also true, which is why I tried those large ones that are ridiculous, because those will fit a normal person that doesn't have my head size. But I fit in the Akubra that's the wrong size-ish. That one should technically be too big on me, but they tell you to buy them big and they shrink, whereas these aren't supposed to shrink because they're not leather and all that. Would be a lot of work for one cheap hat, right? To look for bargains all over the place. Well, again, is this one worth $65? No, but it's already here, which is what they were hoping for, right? Oh, he got it. He's stupid. He'll keep it. Yeah, I guess. I'm already wearing it. Fine. $270 for 5 hats with discount code. Again, yeah, not completely worth it. I know there's inflation and everything, but again, if I knew, what this was going to be like compared to the other ones before I ordered it, I probably wouldn't have ordered it and would have saved another $70 right there. So yeah, like I said, I'm gonna wrap it up. Like I said, boycott Tinder. They have toxic employee issues. I don't know what business strategy that is. Clean the house. If you're interested in giving this company money, lay it on thick. Tell them, that that they don't have your romantic interests really at heart. They're just trying to line their wallets, and their overpaid employees are single women who don't even maybe even like men. Insist that they do and all that, but the proof is in the pudding that just not feeling it. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I don't want to go on and on about that because I should have wrapped this up 10 minutes ago. But that's the way live feed goes, people. If you don't like it, you scroll ahead, you skip it, whatever. I don't know. And yeah, it's Friday, so hopefully I get lots of views for a change. If you're, like I said, looking for more brand specific content than just here's a bunch of hats. So hopefully this was more informative as to, like I said, the goods and the bads, the pitfalls. Again, chances are you don't need 6 hats, much less the other 30 that I have. But like I said, they do get, they do get looking like this after enough time. And like I said, this one hasn't split any seams yet or anything. It's not dead yet, but it's definitely not attractive. Not one to wear around town much. This one, again, I love the look of it so much. I don't want it to get messed up. So this one keeps getting pampered and babied, and I keep wearing the other ones. And so it still looks good after all this time, but trying to buy a replacement for it, Henschel fail. So that's my bottom line. Dorfman semi-fail, Henschel almost total fail in that regard. But again, these things, I think these are decent. I think, for the price, they're not terrible. I just wish that this one was not in such raggedy condition already. Jeez. I know I said this a bunch already, but what did they do to it? I might call and complain and see if I can get a little money back rather than returning it. All right, I'm going to end signing off.